all over. The latest one that they discovered last week is from Syria, and it makes total sense. They found out that Budanov, the Ukrainian James Bond, let's put it this way, he's in direct contact with the head of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which comes from Jabhat al-Nusra, which many of you in our audience will remember that this is basically al-Qaeda in Syria, essentially.
Right.
So they are in direct contact, and they made a deal. He sent 75 drones, Ukrainian drones, to these jihadis in Idlib. He sent, I think, more than 200 Ukrainian instructors. And in return, he said, look, I want a lot of fighters from you guys to fight against the Russians around Ukraine and near the borders of the Russian Federation. So this was discovered by
have they arrived?
Sorry?
Have they arrived? Have the jihadist fighters arrived? Are they in
Ukrainian
uniforms? Not yet. All right.
No, not yet. The deal is that first, the Ukrainians are going to train the jihadis on how to use drones. And then after they finish the course, there will be a direct line for them to go to Ukraine and near the Russian borders.
Is Russia prepared to fight the United States?
We're not there yet, Judge. We're not there yet. This is the long war. By the way, quoting Pentagon terminology, right? The war that we're just talking about a few minutes ago, the war that NATO wants in 2030,
right?
Russia is preparing for this war. Russia is preparing for a remix of Operation Barbarossa, where the Americans would be obviously involved, because NATO cannot pull that off, even if they have 6 years to remilitarize, to have even 3% of GDP invested in weapons, you name it. They don't have enough troops. They don't have the know-how. And obviously, they'll be bogged down if they try an Operation Barbarossa against Russia.
After the disaster in Kursk, what options remain? Well, after the disaster in Kursk and the refusal by President Biden to allow the long-term missiles, at least for now, what options remain for Ukraine besides recruiting and training jihadists who may never see the battlefield, because who knows how much longer the Ukraine government will last?
Well, it's what I defined as the war of terror, which is a mirror image of what Israel is doing against Gaza and now against Lebanon this week. It's pure terrorism. Absolutely. And because most of these attacks, the Ukrainian attacks, are, of course, they are attacking refineries. They continue to attack Crimea practically on a daily basis with waves of drones. They continue to attack Belgorod. But let's say it's a sort of half and half. Military installations, infrastructure installations in the Russian Federation, but also apartment buildings in Donbass or in Belgorod, for instance, or even in Kursk. So it's a war of terror. And it's part of what we can define as the one war. There is one war going on, subdivided in different levels, especially between Gaza and Novorossiya. It's basically the US absolutely desperate to do anything to fight the end of the hegemony, of being an hegemonic power. So this is the overarching theme. And we can decline these themes